Yeah, it looks like it came right out of the trash. It was sitting in a yard, freaking neglected. Dogs and cats were crapping in it. Bums were sleeping in it. But you were able to revive it, freaking amazing. I don't think I would have risked my own health to work on it. You are a hero. The time's finally come, where I can go ahead and sit down and share the story. Caution, some of the cars on the show contain a lot of disgusting filth that can ruin your appetite. Welcome to Detail Garage 54. I'm Vlad, and this was one hell of a job. Our show is about cleaning and reviving cars, giving them a new lease on life, a second chance. We're all about making them nice. We present. So that's what the show is about. We clean subscribers' cars absolutely free of charge. Now parked next to me you can see a nice, clean, fresh-looking Toyota Crown. We bought the car with a restoration project in mind, which took us about a year to complete. The detailing work alone took me an entire month. It was all very complicated and time-consuming. And I literally have goosebumps because, I mean, is it really finally over? Now, I do suggest you watch this video to the end. It is going to be a pretty long one. It's going to be full of dirt and storytelling, among other things. But now, we're going to take it from the top. In the summer of 22, we were browsing the internet and we found a rather tired, dilapidated-looking Toyota Crown that had a very difficult life. What prompted us to buy the car? I don't know, it might have been the powertrain. It is running a 2J after all. Plus it's the high-end G trim level. Those are loaded, apparently. We brought it over, and the first thing we did was tend to the bodywork. We bought a bunch of parts, trim bits, which included a full nose cut, the hood, fenders, and that's what kicked off the tedious exterior restoration. I'm getting a bit hysterical here, remembering everything I've been through with this thing. It was quite a nightmare. Now, prior to working on the body, the car had to be partly dismantled in order to evaluate how bad the situation was and to make things more convenient. Because the idea was to give the car a full respray. The entire car, including the door jambs. So yeah, we took the car apart, removed the doors, the interior trim, leaving only part of the interior. We removed the glass, and all that was left, if I remember correctly, were the seats, the carpet, and the dashboard. And once the exterior work was complete, the car was sitting in a different facility, and we brought it over here. And oh, was I surprised, or horrified rather, knowing that I'd have to clean all of it. make it nice. It was such a daunting prospect. I couldn't even start to imagine the scale of what I'd gotten into. I had no idea how long it'd take me to complete the job. I don't even have words to describe what condition the cabin was in. It's like nobody has ever cleaned it in its entire life. Let's say someone bought the car, it came over from Vladivostok, and it looks like they immediately began to abuse it. And nobody ever cleaned it. All it saw was hard use. It didn't have floor mats. There are literally kilos of sand in there. Tons of grease. Unbelievable. Yeah, wasn't emotional in the slightest. Right, where do I start with the story? We got the car and it required a full teardown. We had to get all of the garbage out of there and figure out which part goes where and so on. That was just... it was a nightmare. It was like an enormous kit car we had to put together. Lego for grown-ups. The seatbelts were so filthy that if you were to grab one of them, hold it in your hand while... Wait, what's a seatbelt made out of anyway? The point is, it was rigid like a soldier on duty. So we removed all of the junk from the interior, finished dismantling the interior itself, but there was even more to take out of it. Yeah, this is why I love my job. What? This is whack. This is completely whack. The car is ranky beyond imagination. So the deep cleaning began with us washing the metal foundation underneath the interior trim, to which we'd be fitting exclusively clean bits. Yeah, every time I'm going to be saying something related to the job, I am going to be recollecting the experience in utter horror. Like, did this car actually used to be like this? So from there, we proceeded to clean the headliner. The headliner, oh my goodness. When I found out that it's actually blue, now I just vacuumed this and I'm a bit shocked. Apparently it's orange, far out. I was very surprised to clean the headliner and find out that it's actually... it has a bluish hue to it. So it's not bluish-gray, it's light blue. Now the next task would have been to clean up the bits located in the back. The rear parcel shelf, the seat belts, allowing us to throw all of that back in. The seat belts are meant to go in first, then the parcel shelf, and the associated trim bits like... there's a rubber cover that also goes with the shelf. Only after that do you put the glass back in. Because at the end of the day, it's easier to get everything done while you have no glass. So you install that after. That's exactly what we did. Overall, this is the filthiest, the most horrendous car we've ever worked on. After that, we were free to, tend to the carpet. We started with vacuuming the whole thing, giving it a thorough once-over, as you're meant to when working with carpet. I just want to say that this is the first time I've ever seen carpet that is in such dreadful condition beyond salvaging, honestly. I've never worked on anything like this. We've never seen anything this bad. I mean, you can literally knock on it, and it is rock hard. And this is how the time goes by while you're working on that crown. It was as if the filth was dissipated, but the carpet seemed to sort of assume a paler color. I mean to say the old coloration went away, and it became the color it was meant to be in the first place. We'll leave the carpet to dry for a bit, and once it's dry, we can go ahead and throw it into the car. Now, the reasonable thing to do after getting the carpet back in would be tending to the seats, as the fabric on those requires special treatment. Not to mention that cleaning them does take a little while, and it'll take quite a bit of time for them to dry. I started with the rear bench seat, and I was expecting to be able to get it clean working by hand, to be able to make it look impeccable. But in reality, it turned out to be so filthy that, I don't know what they were spilling onto it, but here you are rinsing it for ages. You apply a cleaner, then you start rinsing that out. Cleaner, rinse with water, the cycle repeats, and you're not making any progress. Like literally getting nowhere. You'll see in the end where we got with the seat, but that required a complete teardown, all the way down to the styrofoam padding. So we removed the upholstery and chucked it into a washing machine. Holy moly. Admittedly, I couldn't make it perfect, unfortunately. I couldn't get all of the filth out. But hey, it is what it is. I could only do so much, as unfortunate as that might sound. After that, we wanted to work on the, plastic air vents and the plastic trim. That required removing some of the plastic parts, including those associated with the heater, fitting them back to the car. Also, we had to give the dashboard a good clean before putting it back into place. Then the last thing left to work on were the door cards. We got to cleaning them, and they were naturally of a different color. Seriously, they became a totally different color. Just like a lot of the other interior bits. So here you are, toiling away. You assume that you're almost done, but then even more parts continue to pile on. There are so many left, and all of them require cleaning. Then you need to install them, and looking at some of them, you're like... Wait, where does this go again? The power window switch, trim bits, the door handle. All of that had to come off, cleaned on both sides. Also the rubber window seal. Everything had to be cleaned. The heater we had to buy from a wrecker, because the old one was boned. It was no longer a functioning climate control unit. We chose the easy way out. So yeah, we bought a heater unit for a Toyota Crown, went ahead and tore it apart, and all of the baffles have got styrofoam inserts. Those were all dry and no longer fit for use, so we decided to go ahead and replace all of the styrofoam elements. In order for the unit to be able to function properly. Now generally, we'd be putting the parts back in once they were cleaned. We'd pretty much do that immediately. Near the end of the video, we'll show you the entire process in a single sequence with no cuts. Imagine for a second a car that has never been cleaned. It contains a ton of dust, and it is literally all over the place, even in the tightest of areas. I mean, that dust would even... It would actually form sort of clumps, which you could blow air at and watch them roll like a tumbleweed. So yeah, that was a thing. With that, the interior was complete. All of the glass was installed, as well as the weather seals. We did as much as we could. Oh, and you might have noticed that we've fitted a new set of wheels to the car. The old ones were in horrendous condition. Like, they were really bad, which is why they were painted. Then it was time for a thorough wash of the engine bay. We used a specialized compound to get everything nice and clean, and the end result was quite... It was... nice. We got the engine bay and the engine inside of it looking fresh. What happened after that? After we'd finished washing the engine bay, we gave the wheels a thorough clean, because that's just something you have to do. We decided not to show the exterior washing process. It was pretty boring anyway, the car wasn't all that filthy. We just needed to give it a quick rinse to get the dust off. After that came the ceramic coating, not to mention the glass had to be cleaned as well. That would be followed by a protective coating for the glass. And so we did that, making sure there was no residue on the glass, to ensure that the compound does what it's supposed to, and has good adhesion to the glass. Now we're going to apply 2 layers of ceramic coating to the bodywork, as well as to the glass. Oh my god. Why did I even get into this? We were working on other cars side by side with this one. This just took way too long. This was a detailing job on an unprecedented scale. Now, in order to be able to put out videos on a regular basis, I'm gonna list all of the cars that were completed while work was still underway on this one here in the Detail Garage 54 studio. Those include a Moskvich, a Lada 2106, a Mazda G-Wagon. I think I might have actually missed one even. There was no other way. That was such a nightmare. There's really no other way to put it. This was one hell of an undertaking, I mean... Now, you might agree with me if I say that this crazy, monumental Toyota Crown restoration project, bringing it from what it was to where it is right now, is completely unviable in terms of the financial aspect of it. But regardless, this was quite a cool story, one that we'll preserve in our memory. And such a meticulous approach to this sort of massive job, when it comes to detailing, I mean, this was definitely a first for us. That being said, this car will be on the road. It is going to be roaming the roads of Russia. It'll continue to be of utility to us and serve this channel. We'll use it to transport stuff, to pick up cars. So that's what we were preparing it for. So all of that work restoring and cleaning it was done for it to become a workhorse. Sweet. I'm gonna refrain from using swear words, but this was one hell of a job. If I ever get offered a job like this again, I'm gonna be like, no. We're definitely not gonna do this again. No way we're doing this. It was super time-consuming, it's not cost-effective and so on, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. That it gets plenty of views, likes, comments and such. This wasn't a waste of time, though. After all, we wanted to show the process. We did. Otherwise, what was the point? I am so grateful to you guys for watching this video to the end. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I mean, we've put a lot of effort into it. We've done... That didn't come out right. Yeah, this took a lot of effort. An unbelievable amount of time, resources, everything you can imagine. Hopefully this wasn't in vain. That's what it took to get the car to this point. Big thanks for watching, for commenting, and for getting through the entire video. Make sure to subscribe, give this video a like, leave some comments, and don't forget about the bell, in order to stay in the loop for when we drop new videos. As for me, I definitely think I've earned some rest time. Goodbye.